today we are going to talk about how to get started on the pyramid shading project. So the first thing we're going to do is starting on Google, going to the website Photopea.com. It is an online photo editor up here. So when you get to the Photopea website, we're going to start by opening a new project. And up here, you can name your project. You can do pyramid project, whatever you feel the need to name it. Maybe put your last name in there. And then down here where it says pixels, we're going to change that to inches. And we are going to make it a 9 by 12 piece of paper. Just like that. Once you have those three things adjusted, just hit create. And it'll give you your piece of paper. So the first thing we need to do is start by creating a border. We're going to do that down here with the rectangle tool. And lining up our cursor corner to corner, giving ourselves a border to work within. Now my rectangle automatically fills with red. So what I'm going to do is go up here to fill and click on the X. But then need to click on stroke and click on whatever solid color is there and then change it to black. Once you have your border, we're going to start by creating our triangles, and this will be the base for our pyramid. So going down here back to our rectangle tool and right clicking on it, you need to select the line tool. This is the tool that we're going to use to create all of our triangles, and we're going to be making 10 triangles. So when we create these, you need to start at a corner and divide your paper in half. Now see how mine looks a little bit funky? It looks like there's two lines there. So whenever I unclick on that, it fills in up here. You can see the fill and the stroke. So you want to make sure that your fill has an X through it and your stroke is black. And we're going to adjust this to a 3 and then hit enter, and it'll just make it a little bit skinnier. Going back to our line tool, so now we have 2 triangles and we need to have 10 total. So to create our triangles, we are always going to go from a corner to a straight line. So I'll start up here at this corner and create a straight line. And then I'll go to this corner. Now I have it broken up into 4 triangles. Now I have more corners that I can work from. So I can start another one from this corner. I can create a triangle from this corner. I have corners here and at the edges of my paper still. So now I am up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. I need 4 more to create. Alright, now I'm going to double check that I have all 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom, there are my 10 triangles. And this is going to be step 1 of the project. Once I've got my 10 triangles, the next thing I need to go do is go to my brush tool. And if you right click, you'll see brush, pencil, or color replacement. So we need brush. And that should give you a little circle that looks like this. Up here, you have a couple toggles and options. So I'm going to bring my size down to a 5. And keep my hardness at a 100%. Now I just have this itty bitty teeny tiny circle, and I am going to find the center of all 10 of my triangles and make a little dot. Oops. Let's try that again. Nope. Okay. So what we need to do now that it's saying layer is not editable is go up to layer, all the way down to the bottom where it says flatten image. Click that and you'll notice that all your layers over here on the right hand side have been flattened into one. Now I should be able to go over to my brush tool and give myself little centers. So there you can see one dot, and I'm going to find the center in all 10 of my triangles. Alright, now that all of my triangles have centers, I'm going to come back to my line tool, and I'm going to connect each of these edges, all 3 edges of my triangle, to this center point. And I'm going to do that on all 10, making sure that I am precise so that I make sure each of my lines touches the very edge of my triangle and the center. Alright, once I have all of my triangles broken up into sectors, you can kind of start to see how the image is starting to look 3D. Now what I need to do is go back up to the layer tool and select flatten image again. And again, that'll get rid of all the layers that we had over here on the right hand side. Now I'm going to go up to the magic wand tool right here and start selecting some of my triangles. So what we're going to be doing is adding gradient values to all 3 sides. We will have one light side of the triangle, one mid-tone value, and one dark value as well. And this will make our triangles look like they're pyramids popping off of the page. So starting with my magic wand tool and selecting one side, you'll see that it gets highlighted with all these little dashes. And then I'm going to go to my gradient tool and select that. Now if I want this to be my darkest side, I need to click the very edge and drag past the edge of that triangle to give me a dark black value. If I were to just stay inside the triangle like this, I'm going to get my dark, mid-tone, and light all in one side. And that is not what we want. We want this to have just a dark value, just like that. Once I have my dark value, I'm going to move on to my mid-tone value. So select another side of your triangle for your mid-tone value. And to create this with the gradient tool, we're going to start a little bit off of the triangle and then go just a little bit past to give us a mid-tone value. Now that looks still a little bit too dark. So undoing it and going a little bit farther, it'll give us a lighter mid-tone value. And then last but not least, moving on to our lightest value, we're going to start off the page and drag all the way up to the top. If you mess up, you can always hit Control-Z to go back and do it again. But this is going to be kind of a process to mess around with and play with. To get all of your triangles to be the value that you want them to be, whether it's light, mid-tone, or dark. As you get your triangles done, one complete and moving on to the next one, you don't want to have the same values next to each other. So I have a light value right here. I don't want to put a light value in the next adjacent triangle. What's going to help these triangles become pyramids and look like they're really coming off the page is going to be that high contrast. So clicking on this side of my pyramid and going to my gradient tool, I want this to be the darkest value that I can. So starting at the edge and dragging all the way past, that's going to give me a very dark value and high contrast against that lighter side. So now I'm going to work quickly throughout my triangles and then you'll be able to see a finished product.